And so, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining today. First things first, we have a really important message from our Doug leadership representative here. So, Bobby, I'm going to hand things over to you. And after you go through your a couple slides here, then we'll get right into marketing with AI. And time permitting, I always say this, time permitting, we will go through a little bit of top features for Wave 2 2025 and then open it for Q&A. So over to you, Bobby. Thank you.
First off, I love the topic, marketing and AI. I mean, just, AI in general is obviously a hot topic, but in particular, marketing and AI, there's a lot of changes in the way people market. So how you can use AI to your advantage, or even understand how people are, again, getting their information now that there is AI, how does that change your marketing and your SEO and all those things? So exciting to hear that topic being recorded and out here for folks. Yeah, if you want to, if somebody's controlling the slides, you can move on to the next one.
Okay.
Again, yeah, just I'm Bobby Small. I'm the community director at Dynamics User Groups, or Doug, and we're out there locally in over 60 different spots, and lots of virtual meetings as well. I've been around for quite some time as a forum, and starting in 2021, locally, regionally, and nationally, with a number of events. This is a free community, so you can sign up and get yourself kind of tapped into everything that's going on, whether it's the forums or where this session will be posted later on the YouTube channel, which is really popular. A lot of great content out there. You can just go to dynamicsusergroup.com and sign up, and you'll kind of keep yourself informed as to where we are and what events and opportunities we're providing as a community.
Mm-hmm. And Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I heard that on this last quarter saw the largest surge of new members in forever, right? So is it?
Yeah, we've had, especially with some newer opportunities. The regional events we're putting on are really gaining popularity and steam, driven by the effort folks like you are putting on in these everyday, monthly opportunities. So yeah, a huge and continued growth, which is awesome to see. The more interaction, the more people we see, the greater benefit we get as a community. The more opinions and diversity and that we're seeing, with thought leadership in Dynamics, makes it an overall better experience for all of us.
Absolutely.
What are meetups? I think in general, we're all awesome people. Just remain awesome. Be respectful. That's in general, that's the way we want to act. And whether we're in person or virtually. If you have questions, raise your hand, and be respectful of the folks that are talking. This is a great community, and I don't expect anybody would do anything else but be courteous and follow rules of engagement. So appreciate our attention to that.
And one thing just to point out, the obvious, we are recording, so this will be posted on YouTube and stay perpetually online. So that's why we say these things. So
mention some of these programs, forums, which is where we started 30 years ago this year. And they're still out there. They're still active, which is awesome. People are out there helping each other solve problems. Webinars are going on, but one every month. But you never know when a series pops up. We just did an ad hoc series on licensing. We're starting that's going to last for F&O licensing for 3 or 4, maybe 5, maybe an ongoing support group. It's that popular. The people are in tears over changes. So you never know what's going to pop up in the meantime. We've got our conferences right now. Our flagship conference for years has been DynamicsCon. It's a community-led conference. It's in Vegas this year, which is new for us, and an exciting new venue too. So it's just a newer venue that's been built for conferences. So it should be really a tight experience. Our local meetups, again, just an awesome, effort of folks like the folks that are here with us today, putting on either virtual or in-person events. Mentioned the regional events as well. We have a mentorship program, which is ongoing, that's just out there to help people upskill and into the industry, more soft than it is technical. So just helping you be a better community, engager. And the YouTube channel, which is, again, just another great place where you can find all the content that we put out there is up there on the YouTube channel. And I don't know if we have a specific slide on DynamicsCon. I can't remember what all slides you have, but
We've got convergence.
yeah, and we got Convergence, which if you've been around the space for a while, Microsoft, this was their community biz apps conference to show the roadmap for business applications, and we're hosting this with Microsoft starting this year again. They wanted to bring back this business application. It's almost 85% Microsoft-led content and experience. So they'll have their product experts and sales team on hand to assist, customers to walk through the journey, with them as to what's coming down the roadmap and how they're, very in particular looking at AI. That's going to be a big part of this conference. It's limited this year, but expected to grow in Miami. And I think we're over half, we're close to 60% sold on the tickets, and expect a bump. Probably this month is going to be big after other events get through. I would imagine the end of October we'll start to see that the rest of that fill up. But super excited by it.
And sorry to interrupt you. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's focused on AI and F&O, and a little bit of CE/CRM, not specifically Business Central this year.
It is. I would say it is about 65, we'll say 70% F&O, and I would say I'm thinking of the sessions. It's probably closer to 20% BC content.
Is
And
there
then,
now? Okay.
yeah, and then the smaller amount is probably CE Power Platform, because the Power Platform conference is coming up here. So that's that's their time to shine. But they didn't want to exclude Power Platform. So many tie-ins. So there'll be some content. There'll be some Microsoft experts, people there to get together with folks who need any type of support around Power Platform with questions or help. But yeah, I'd say it is predominantly enterprise level, so that's why F&O is predominant. But there's still BC enterprise level BC opportunities, so that's why the content will remain, and then it'll expand out by next year. I think it'll continue to expand out to include more BC and CE content.
Fantastic. And to your other question.
There you go. Yes, this will be if you've been to DynamicsCon, this will be the least expensive ticket you'll get, with the exception of, there's probably, I won't say there definitely, but there'll probably be some Black Friday-ish, end of the year, but this will be about as low a price you can get without, and those will be limited opportunities to like a limited number of tickets. So if you're interested in going, this is a good opportunity to take advantage. We're extending this out just because the conference season is where it is and budgets are what they are, and so early bird will remain here until the end of the year. So this will be open until January 5th, I believe, or December 31st. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy to extend that out.
That's awesome. It's such a great event. It is just, I have to say, it's one of my favorite conferences that I go to, and I go to a lot.
I'm also there. I've been, my history as a 20-year end user, been going to conferences for years and DynamicsCon, and I've helped program them. One of my favorites, just being together with the community is awesome. And this is a community-led, community feel event.
And Bobby, where are you on the call for sessions and presentations?
Good question. Again, with conference season being what it is, we're shifting this year a little bit different opportunity. In previous years, we've opened it up right away, like almost like out of the gate, but found that a lot of sessions get submitted, resubmitted. There's some confusion around it being open that long. So we're opening it up at the end of October. So it'll be open, either October 31st or November 5th, whatever that 4th, whatever that next. So there'll be a shorter time period, so a little bit more concentrated time for folks to kind of get past a few conferences, get their mind set on what'll be looking good for 2026.
Fantastic. All right.
Yeah, and then again with the regionals, we've got a lot of cool stuff. I'm going to hold off on announcing any specifics, but we're really excited about where we're going to be and what we're looking for out of our regionals this year. We're loving the trend with how they're being put together, and we feel like they're trending more towards kind of a mini DynamicsCon, which is why we rebranded them this past year, because we wanted them to feel more like a mini conference. And so we're really bringing that down from DynamicsCon to bring that experience to each of these regionals. So there'll be about 9 to 10, And we'll be announcing those also right around the beginning of November. So stay tuned for those exact locations and sign up opportunities.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you. If there's any
Yeah, of course.
questions about anything that Bobby's talked about, feel free to put it in the chat or speak up. But we're on to the primary content for today, and we're going to move things over into AI in marketing. And so I'm going to stop sharing, and Annie, I'm going to let you start sharing, okay?
All right. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Always got to check to make sure it goes through. Well, thank you everyone for joining. My name is Anne Zemlicka, and I am a pre-sales engineer at Click. So today we're going to be talking about AI in marketing, and it's something that I'm hearing more and more as people are coming to us looking for marketing solutions. They'll ask about, what is available for AI in marketing, what's available in product, those types of things. And so I wanted to cover off on some of that today and just some general topics and questions that I get. So that's where our topics will focus today. So going into the agenda, we'll start with the introduction. Again, Annie with Click. I want to talk about the marketing AI landscape, some categories of marketing AI tools. We'll talk about some of those tools. We'll talk about some strategies for implementing marketing AI, security considerations for AI in marketing. I'm going to do a content prompt example and talk a little bit about prompting for content. And then I'm going to kind of close out with what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing from people looking at marketing solutions and what they're looking for AI in that. So let's go ahead and jump in on the marketing AI landscape first. And with that, just taking a look at how in recent years, the marketing landscape has transformed by explosive growth of AI-powered tools. So what started as a handful of solutions for automating simple tasks or doing content generation has come into a vast ecosystem with over 500 specialized AI marketing tools projected to be available in 2025. That is a lot of tools to choose from. This rapid expansion means that marketers now have access to platforms that can generate content, but can also optimize SEO, automate campaigns, easily analyze data, and personalize customer experiences. The sheer number of options empowers teams to select tools that fit their unique goals. So whether it's driving engagement on social media, improving conversion rates, or gaining deeper insights into customer behavior, it also means that we need to be strategic in choosing the right solutions for our needs. So as AI continues to advance, staying informed about the latest tools and understanding their capabilities is key to maintaining a competitive edge and delivering measurable results in your marketing efforts. The key is to identify where AI and automation can make the biggest impact for your team. And it's important to remember that AI isn't just about generating content anymore. A lot of times people will start with content generation as their first step into AI, but there are powerful solutions around data analytics, customer engagement. And so try to think beyond content and explore how those tools can drive real results for your marketing strategy. I do want to take a closer look at the different categories of AI tools available to marketers today. And I probably could have made many more categories, but these are the top ones I hear about. There's so many choices, and it's important to understand not just what's out there, but where the tools can make the biggest impact. So one of the most common, as I mentioned before, is content creation tools. They use AI to help generate things like blog posts, ad copy, email content. They save marketers hours of manual writing and enable rapid scaling of campaigns. But as I mentioned before, content generation is just the beginning. We're also seeing marketers looking for tools that are AI powered for SEO to help analyze web content, suggest improvements, and target the right keywords. That means the content isn't just created quickly, but it's also optimized to reach the right audience and rank higher in the search results. One that's near and dear to me is marketing automation. These tools automate repetitive tasks like campaign setup, lead nurture, and personalized messaging. By streamlining those workflows, marketers can focus more on strategy and less on that manual execution piece. We also have analytics and insights. So those tools are going to be essential for data-driven decision making. AI can process vast amounts of data in real time. It helps marketers uncover trends and predict outcomes. It also helps them measure the effectiveness of their campaigns. This will, in the end, lead to smarter investments and better results for the marketing team. We also have personalization and engagement AI to deliver hyper-personalized experiences. I expect when I'm getting content or seeing ads that they are personalized. The other day, I got an ad on LinkedIn and I had to do a double take. It was interesting. It had my company's logo and addressed me in it. And it was just a general ad. There are AI tools out there now that are pulling not only who you are, but the company you work for and pulling that into those ads with this AI. And I will tell you, that looked twice. So it's working. In addition, it just helps you connect with customers and prospects on a deeper level to drive loyalty. Design and creative. Not to be confused with content creation, design and creative tools create the visuals and graphics and design assets. It empowers teams to produce high quality creative work quickly, but there are some things to consider there, and we'll look at that more when we get into the security considerations. And then social media management. These tools are there to help generate posts. I've used tools where you can just pop a link to your blog in and it generates the post for you. Very handy to have. And then you can adjust the tone. It also helps you analyze engagement and optimize your social strategies overall. So as you consider bringing AI into marketing efforts, be sure to think beyond just content generation and look at some of these other categories as well. In an effort to not be biased in this, and you'll hear me talk about that a little bit more in the security portion as well, I pulled these from Copilot. So I use Copilot to pull the top AI tools for B2B marketers. One of the things that can be easily done is to have bias in what you're doing for AI, kind of lean it towards your tool or what you focus on. But really, for this prompt, I just said, what are the top tools across all of the categories in the previous slide that I had, and it pulled these out. This is actually a really good learning process for me, too. I hadn't heard of some of these. Of course, we're familiar with ChatGPT. A number of marketers also like to use Jasper for AI-generated blog posts and copy. The Valona one was one that was new for me, but apparently it combines content creation with market intelligence. So I'm excited to look at that one a little bit more. And I'll leave these up here. We probably won't go through each one of them, but there's a number of tools available for SEO optimization, and you can refer back to the recording of the slides to see these, but things like Surfer SEO and Demand Base, of which I've heard of both. Marketing automation, we hear Breeze brought up quite a bit, as well as Unify and Zapier. And then for analytics, Dream Data, Rhythm, Adobe Experience Cloud. You'll notice that Adobe shows up twice too, and also in the personalization and engagement. So I feel like people are thinking that's a really good tool on the marketing side, but I've also heard of Blaze AI used for personalized engagement quite often. Something that we use at our organization is Canva AI. I use that quite a bit. One of the things to look for in these tools, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in the future here too, but Canva specifically allows us to upload all of our brand guidelines. So things like the fonts, the color codes, the tone, those types of things into Canva itself, so that as we create content, it sticks with, as you can see, we like purple here, but it sticks with the purple. It sticks with the right fonts and the look and feel. So that's something to keep in mind too. As you look at these from a marketing perspective, are you going to have to go back into that tool and add your brand guidelines or make it branded after you ask it to create the content? Finding ones that already lend to your current brand's tone, style, color codes, fonts is going to make life a lot easier for you. So keep that in mind as well. I've also heard quite a few people use Synthesia for video creation with avatars. Rather than coming in and speaking, they'll just have an avatar do that. And then social media management. Some of these were new to me, but Birdeye, Chatfuel, and Pinpoint were the top ones there. So keep those as just a place to start. Of course, as I mentioned, there's over 500, or there will be by the end of 2025. So this is just barely the tip of the iceberg here. But we can then talk about how we start to implement AI marketing tools. So what you should do here is begin by identifying which processes in your marketing workflow benefit from AI automation the most. Look for things that are repetitive tasks, bottlenecks you're currently facing in marketing, or areas where manual work slows down your team. This audit will help you pinpoint where AI can deliver the greatest impact. Next, you'll want to select compatible tools. So once you know what those needs are, focus on choosing an AI solution that integrates seamlessly with your existing tech stack. Because we're pulling data and we're using data to make decisions to be agents for us, essentially, compatibility is crucial. Tools need to work well with the CRM that you use, the analytics platforms that you use, and maybe any other marketing systems you're using as well. This will help maximize the value of your investment. Just because an AI tool is great does not mean it's great with your database. So that's something to really understand. I always tell people when they're looking at AI, and maybe if your organization is down the road of AI and you're using it consistently, this might not be the right path for you. But for someone who's just starting and maybe has just been doing prompts in ChatGPT for content or Copilot or Gemini, whatever it might be, using the free tools, don't try to overhaul everything at once. Don't run your entire marketing strategy on AI. Begin with one tool in a targeted area and measure the results. Is it helping? If it isn't, maybe you need to try a different tool or go to a different category of tools to see if that's going to be a better fit for you. But once you see the positive outcomes, you can expand to additional tools and you'll have greater confidence as you do that because you know what you're looking for. And when you roll it out, don't roll it out to the entire team right away. Have some power users come in there and test the tool. Have them track down the best practices and maybe things to avoid. Well-trained users are essential for realizing the full benefits of AI. We use Copilot internally, and for incomplete transparency, there's some that can use it really well and are using it to its full potential, and some that just don't know like where to go. So that training is very, very important when you're releasing AI tools to the broader team. Something I also get questions about in almost every conversation about marketing AI is security considerations. So as you're adopting AI tools for your marketing strategies, you need to keep some of these things in mind. The first being, ensure that any AI tool you use complies with major data protection regulations. So for example, GDPR, CASL, CCPA. This is especially important when handling customer data. So if it's accessing customer data, non-compliance can actually lead to serious legal and reputational risks. It can be very costly for an organization. So just keep in mind, and I think this is one of the most important ones, the data privacy and compliance of the tool. Always vet your AI vendors. Seems like common sense, right? But really you should be looking for security certifications and assess how they personally are going to handle your data and who and what has access to that data. Also keep in mind that AI models can be vulnerable to adversarial attacks and data poisoning. So this can compromise the integrity of your outputs. Work with vendors who actively defend against these threats and are regularly updating their models to match that. You should also implement strict user permissions and authentication for all AI platforms. Limit access to authorized users will actually help prevent misuse and protect your sensitive information. I used AI to build a portion of this deck. I wanted to use it to get some different ideas, especially to pull in some of those options for AI tools against the different categories, because I wanted to personally monitor for bias and ethical risks, right? I didn't want to come in here and say the solution that I'm with is the best one in the world. There are some things missing from it in AI, just like there are in any tool. But I have to be careful how I write my prompts, so I'm not leaning towards my specific experience and tool, right? I need to monitor my AI generated content also for misinformation. So anytime I go in and ask AI to tell me how to do something in my tool, I'll actually look at it, and there are cases where it's incorrect. And I've had instances where we've had someone take a look at it and they'll be like, oh, we'll just send this on to the customer. And you have to really take a look to make sure it's getting everything correct. It's not always right. But you also have to look at it for bias. And bias is not only in the output, but also what you're inputting as a prompt, being sure you're not adding things that may be leaning bias towards something, one thing over the other. And you should continually monitor your AI systems for anomalies. So like security gaps and compliance adherence. This is going to help you catch issues early and maintain a trustworthy environment. So just keep in mind these security risks, something to keep in mind anytime you're using AI, but specifically in marketing, especially when we have those compliance rules around GDPR and others. Those are very important to keep in mind when you're using AI and maybe including customer data for personalization purposes. The power of the prompt. I actually have a presentation I do that's on marketing prompting as well. And apparently I did some animation there. But I asked it to write a blog post. There's about 800 words that talks about AI and marketing. Make it professional but engaging. This one, the top one here, that's what you don't want to do. That's very, very bland as far as that goes, right? So keep in mind that as you're doing prompts, you can actually have AI help you learn how to do those prompts too. So let's take a look at that here. I'm actually going to, hop out of here for a second. And we are going to go to my Gemini and Copilot. That's what we're going to try here. I'm going to pull up this. We're going to grab that first prompt, which is not great. I'm going to show you a little trick that actually helped me get better at prompting for marketing specifically. So if I go into Copilot, let's go ahead and have it try to do this, right? It's going to create a blog that's about 800 words, that's professional and engaging, and it's going to take a minute. I had it do this yesterday too, because I always like to test this to see if it's going to be different. But this one, it's good. Like it's coming up with some things I would expect it to. Personalization, role in modern marketing. It's not bad. But if we go in here and as you're learning to do prompts, or if you're not doing marketing-based prompts often, ask Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever you might be using to help you. So I can actually go in and add that same one. And then below that, I just write a very quick prompt that is something like, help me. Oh, I could never type when people are watching me. Does anybody have that problem? Help me write.
Always.
This
100%.
yes. Right? It's like when people are watching you, the pressure's on. You got to spell it all right.
You can use your dictate there, Annie.
I could. That
Use
was
your
probably
microphone.
a good idea too.
Yeah.
As long as your spell check, isn't like totally wacky and that's going to give you something you don't want, recorded. Darn talk to text.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just going to have it write me a better prompt. So what it's going to do is a refined version of that prompt. It's going to tell me what I should do. So it's going to actually add some more things in there for trends, pieces like that. I don't really like what it came up with here. So I actually put this in Gemini too. Oh, of course I took the image and not the text. So we'll just grab the same text we had before and put it in here. And this is really simple, right? Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see if it'll go through. It might. I like this better because it's going to give me some directions. I like how Gemini does this. Copilot did a great job of rewriting the prompt, but Gemini actually tells me, here's some things you should keep in mind, and here's the prompt. The prompt is much longer. It has key sections that you may want to include. And then as a marketer, I can go in and I can say, you know what, this is great, but I want these sections to focus more on this, this, and this, right? It gives me a really good basis. So for people who are very new to using AI in marketing, especially for copy creation, blog creation, having Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT help you with those prompts is not a bad thing. because they do come in and they give you a really great place to start. This one is the one that I put on the slide that was very similar, that talks about sections, keywords, what do I want the tone to look like? And I, as a marketer, should be going in and changing that based on how I want this blog to perform. And then once that's complete, reread the entire blog, check for bias, check for making sure it's ethical, and then it's correct, right? You need to have a basic understanding of your topic to make sure it's correct as well. So just some interesting things that I like to do there for people that are newer to using AI in marketing and may not have these prompts readily available is use the tools in front of you. And you'll notice that these tools didn't cost me anything. I'm not behind a paywall for these. You may, depending on Copilot, what license you need there, but Gemini is readily available. ChatGPT can be readily available to use this. You don't have to jump into expensive tools right away to start with AI in marketing.
Annie, we have a question, if you wouldn't mind taking it.
Yeah,
sure.
Just a quick question from me, really. What about what you've shown and shared with us? It's in English, of course. I mean, we're all conversing in English today, but how is it for handling other languages if you're working within Copilot versus Gemini? I think. Do we know how?
I don't know if I've personally tested that, so I don't know if I'd feel comfortable answering the question.
Yeah.
It's not something I've personally tested, but that's a really great question and something that I'll kind of look into as well. It's also one I haven't really gotten from prospects or customers on our side yet.
Yeah.
But if anyone has comments on that or has used that, I'd be happy to open the
Maybe
mic for that
Bobby.
too.
He's got it on straight away. Come on, Dan.
Yeah, I don't think I have a strong comment other than something you said earlier, Anne, in that I've used preemptive, Google Translates for years. I worked with a company that had a predominantly Vietnamese-based staff, so they some spoke English, but a lot of folks didn't. They spoke Vietnamese, and so I would use these tools to an extent, and then have somebody verify the results and help me fine-tune them. So I think there's, I agree. I think it's hard to trust fully any of this until we know we can, which maybe who knows how long out, but I think there's still a level of, I would still use it, and I would encourage people but always vet the process before you popped it out into the wild.
I treat AI a little bit like a new employee that just started. I'm going to double check your work just a little bit until you know our product well, our brand and tone well. Like those are things that are learned over time, and so I treat AI in that way, especially when I'm doing content creation.
I'm sure there's an AI meme out there with training wheels on it, right? Sorry, Barbara, go ahead.
No, it just reminds me of a quote I saw a long time ago, maybe a year ago now, about all this AI stuff. And that we're to think of it as an overly zealous intern that's just so keen to help us. That's everywhere. I just thought that was really quite a nice description. It's like an intern that's just there, that want to help, they want to get on board, and it's overzealous. It's like on steroids.
And they don't know their limitations yet.
And what? Sorry, Tanya?
And they don't know their limitations yet.
Right. Exactly.
Sorry, we digress. Thank you, Annie. I'll let you carry on. Thank you.
So one of the last things I wanted to go over is, what am I hearing about AI from people looking at it for marketing solutions specifically? In complete transparency, this was part of an RFP that I responded to around a marketing solution, right? But they were asking for some very specific AI capabilities that I thought were very interesting. So I wanted to share that with the group here. As you're considering tools for marketing in AI, what are some of the things other organizations are looking at, right? And so a lot of them want to know how they can use AI to optimize campaigns in real time. So like adjusting targeting and timing and content dynamically based on how they're interacting. That is one I get quite often. I also get questions about chatbots. You'll see in here, there's actually 2 questions around chatbots, but they also want to know, what language models are they using? What are you using? Some people are very specific about what AI models they use based on security and privacy, right? I get a lot of questions about AI generated subject lines and content for emails. Is that built into my solution? Is that something I need to do externally? I get a lot of questions about that. I also get questions on personalized content based on behavior and engagement history. So things like, how are they engaging with us? Let's personalize content based on, it looks like they hit social posts more. Let's target them with social more, right? Those types of things. And having AI recognize that instead of marketers having to mine through that data or create those reports, having AI help them with that. Optimizing image formats and sizes for different channels and devices. So taking the content and optimizing it in that way. And sentiment analysis is another one I get quite often. So they'll ask, can it monitor sentiment of replies? Can it monitor sentiment of direct messages and things that are coming into our social tool? Those are things I'll get questions about. And then lead scores. Using AI to score leads, different buying groups, and accounts based on historical behavior. We know there's many solutions out there that can do it based on things like where you're located, what your job title is, did you click on this email, did you go to the website. But is your solution, and this is something that I think is really cool, there's some AI tools out there that'll take a look at things like time to close a deal. So close rate, link to close. It'll take a look at things like how large were the deals, and the larger deals, what are we doing to get those to progress, to move forward, and taking AI to take a look at that. It saves so much time from creating reports manually or even, pulling them into a large data piece, but using AI to really understand what's driving revenue or what's driving conversions on your side is something that I think is very, very important in the marketing space. So that's one that I'm excited about. There's many to be excited about, but these are things that I'm hearing specifically, and not just with this prospect, but many others as well, that they're starting to ask those questions about AI.
Yeah. And Annie, just to build on that a little bit, you mentioned a little bit about security and which models, where's your data going and what models are being trained is a huge one right now. And I work in a target audience of wealth and asset managers. And so we have the Canada versus US, where's my data going and what data centers are storing my data, who has access to it? Do I have access to the AI prompt response lists that I can go in and delete things on at will? And it gets really getting into the real detail and nuance about just whose data is it, what permissions and access do I have to it, and what tools. And I think that's the challenge here. People aren't asking about what tools are built into the platforms, like the third-party solutions, the co-pilots, all that. What tools are readily available and how much power do I have to access that data, let alone who else has that data. So that's what I'm hearing a lot about AI in general. I know that yours is more marketing, but I think it affects everybody. And then you mentioned a little bit about GDPR. In the wealth space, it's all about SEC and FINRA. And so also, what are the regulations there? And is it clear that I can use these tools? And what will the fines and penalties look like if something goes awry? Because with all of this stuff, and you mentioned it, you do have to absolutely ensure that there's a human in the loop. There is no AI without a human companion or your intern or whatever, right? It is your teammate, not replacement for your brain, right? And I think to your earlier point about everybody's on a different learning curve of their journey. It's very hard to stay in front of this and get your teams trained up to be consistently applied. But based on the other comments I just made about security and whatnot, there is so much information to digest about this, and it is such a challenge for people to stay on top of it. So this kind of content that you're doing is so helpful to distill it down and just give people sort of like a marching orders, like here's how you engage and here's how you progress with this kind of concept when you start at your firm. So this is great.
And that kind of leads me into my next steps too. If your company is not using AI in marketing today, the first place to start is to brainstorm that. So I take it as a challenge to kind of go out there, meet with your marketing team, or if you're on the marketing team, think with your teams about where AI can really make that impact, right? Where's that impact? Again, don't go out there and get 10 tools. Don't do that. Just go in, choose one where you think it can make an impact, test that, and don't be discouraged if you don't get what you want the first time. AI is still learning too. I really like the intern reference. Our intern is still learning. And then choose a tool that you can test and keep in mind your budget, right? Don't get something that's super expensive out of the gate. There are tools out there that you can use for free to start testing out AI, right? It doesn't have to be the most expensive, shiny tool right away. Keep in mind your potential ROI and make sure that your initial test group is smaller and people that are ready to engage with AI. Not everyone is, right? So understand that the people you're working with are the ones that are excited about AI, that want to come in, that want to use it, that aren't scared of it replacing them, right? That are seeing it as a teammate rather than competition. And then share what works with others and what doesn't. So those are some go-tos I have for you to try AI if you're not already. Many people are. And then here is my contact information. If you have any questions for me, this is my email address here. But happy to take any questions now. And I want to make sure to leave enough time for other topics too.
Fantastic. Thank you, Annie. That was really great. Really, really good content. So if you have questions, either you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat. And if you don't think of something right now, but you have something after the fact, please reach out to Annie and she will definitely get those answers for you. So, okay, so let's keep the wheels turning here and move into some additional content. And I'm just going to share my screen here. Just give me 1 second. Thank you so much, Annie. That was awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't really do introductions to this today, did we? So, all right. So the second part of today is just, again, I will fully disclose that I am a little bit biased in what I'm calling the top features because I work in a certain niche of the Dynamics world, and I don't work in the F&O space, and I don't work in the Business Central space. I work in the Dynamics 365, very specifically sales app. And I work with Power Platform and so on. So I do know, and I do recognize that my top features are biased towards my knowledge base. That being said, we do have a little poll we'd love your input on. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the top features for Wave 2 2025. Again, I think everybody knows there's Microsoft Wave releases happen in the spring and the fall. So this is our roundup for 2025. Just as a reminder, some of the key dates. I live in Canada, so we are already starting to see some of the October release items. So Canada's release of the GA features happened actually at the end of September. We always get this nice little preview with our Canadian clients, and it helps us kind of get ready for questions from our US clients because Canada always gets the releases ahead of North America, which is fantastic. And then you can see Europe is kind of in the middle there. So, there's
This week.
it happened this week, didn't it, Vanda? So, So I'm just going to post a couple of links in the chat there, and just in case you're not familiar with some of the material that Microsoft does provide to track this. So there's the release planner, and then the regional deployments list. So just giving you a little shortcut link to that. So lots going on right now. It is a very busy time. So so here are the features that I've kind of pulled out in terms of things that I think are things to look at. So the first one on the list is your agents working to connect to sales workflows and using an MCP server. So this is a really powerful, again, this is your teammate kind of agent. I'd say it's a bit smarter than an intern at this point because the agents are pretty robust. So a couple of pretty solid AI agents released. So there's a sales agent and a leads research agent. So, what this MCP piece very specifically is super cool. So it allows you to not only connect Copilot, but third-party AI assistants like Chat and Claude. So, following up on Annie's, using Gemini and other tools. Using an MCP server will allow you to actually dig into other AI assistants to perform data on the Dataverse, or sorry, to perform AI actions on Dataverse data. So this has really powerful implications if you are in fact in the sales world and whatnot, but really interesting stuff coming there. So, and that will come to general availability or GA in December. The next one on the list, it might seem small, but it's mighty, because I know Bobby's been on this platform for 20 years. I've been on this platform, on the Microsoft platform, for over 20 years. I have seen the lack of easy searchability of data in the CRM space for a very, very long time. So this year has really been a watershed year just for how can I query my data. And when you're very familiar with the platform, querying the data is like, you can do it in your sleep. When you roll this CRM specifically out to new users who perhaps have never used a CRM in their life, and then you throw at them, here's how you have to have like a Pythagorean theorem to search for your data, it's not easy. So the lowest adoption feature I find in CRM is searching for stuff. So Microsoft, thank goodness, it's they're building on the concept of smart grids, but now you have this ability to use natural language filtering. So, for instance, you can ask in a list view of data, can you display that? Literally type this in. It's like Annie's prompt. Can you show this as a bubble chart? Can you display this as a bar chart? Can you sort this list in a bubble chart by type? Like, you can use natural language. It is so powerful and so intuitive now that I feel like just having that feature alone will help with adoption. So it's available today. It's October, so it's absolutely going to be, I think, like a watershed moment, I think, for that. So another AI feature, again, I think you'll probably get the theme here. Wave 2 is all about AI. So I think we'll be in Copilot for a long time, but Form Fill Assistant, just another feature that says inside the CRM, I can upload a file, or I can have something on my clipboard. And when you open up a CRM screen, Copilot will try to figure out, it'll read the data in both a file or your clipboard, and it'll say, here's where I think it belongs on this form. So it streamlines data entry. Users in the loop, of course, can accept or reject. So that's available today. I've been playing around with it. I'm not quite sure the implication of like the usability of it, but it helps from time to time. It reduces keystrokes and, fat fingers and things like that. So anyway, form fill is a pretty good one. The next one, the hierarchical data visualization. So historically inside of the CRM, it's really hard to get nice visualizations of your data. So think of like the hierarchy of data. So if you've got an account and multiple people, and then, in our space, our clients will want to see things like financial accounts. It's a custom entity. We can't kind of build a visualization of all the data that is linked. Again, in our space, in the wealth management, people want to have things like family trees. They want to see who surrounds the family. We can't build it easily. It's because of the concept of many-to-many relationships. It is disastrous to try to load that in real time. But Microsoft has kind of gone back to the design board with the data visualization tool. And it is still infant level. It's only single entity still right now. So it would say if you have accounts and sub-accounts, you can see it. But the gold here, which I'm trying to see what that date looks like, is multi-table hierarchy visuals. So not available today. The single table visualization is available today. The multi-table, they haven't released a date, but they said it's coming very soon. So I'm very excited about that feature, and that will actually give people like a really nice experience just to see how is their data interrelated in the CRM. So I'm very excited about that feature. A little bit of Copilot Power Automate feature I think is noteworthy is to create and edit expressions in Power Automate. So using Copilot and natural language, like explain what you need it to do. It's fantastic to help along with that concept of low code, no code, to get people to be able to create Power Automate. Because again, one of the barriers to adoption is it seems pretty complicated for a lot of people new to the Copilot, to the Power Automate space. Is it seems very technical, and effectively it is. You have to really understand expressions, and you have to understand how to link tables, and so it's not for it's not for the faint of heart application. But now with more and more of the Copilot experiences inside of Power Automate, like being able to create and edit expressions with natural language, that adoption wall is lowering every single release that's coming out. So look for that one in December 2025. Another Power Automate thing is, again, after you build it and it doesn't work, you have to be able to understand how to fix it. So there's some expanded features on debugging capabilities with Power Automate. So look for that again in December, but very interesting things coming on the Power Automate side of things. Flipping over into retention policies, as if you're familiar with the Dynamics platform, Microsoft is constantly running system jobs in the back end, and you constantly have to create policies to purge them because it just consumes your database. So so Microsoft is coming out in public preview right now. So again, public preview is not the same as GA, but you'll be able to purge your async operations table and your workflow log tables with a defined retention policy. So it's going to be really great. It's very similar to the approach you would take to purge your audit tables. So you'll have defined ages and periods that you can purge, but make it more of a standing job, a system job. Because again, like we have hundreds and hundreds of clients, and we have to manually go in and create these jobs for every client. It's not scalable as a partner. So so we're excited to see it. I think it just reduces the workload as an individual organization. If you're building your own purge policies or statements, this actually will help anybody on this platform. A little feature that is coming in November, moving on, is the recycle bin, we'll call it. So Microsoft has a little feature to address when people are given delete permission, which I'm an absolute nihilist. I'm absolutely against giving people delete privileges, period, because I have seen for 23 years how
I agree.
accidental, how
You
easy
regret
it
it
is to
later.
delete something, right? And as you all know, there's the cascade permissioning that unless you've really reviewed every single table relationship and what that behavior is going to be, you can absolutely have dire consequences with your data. And to rebuild it is no easy task. So Microsoft's record delete sort of recycle bin experience is okay. It still doesn't replace a proper data rebuild with a data engineer. But it's a good start. The retention policy is 30 days. There's a table you can actually see, and anytime there's a table with data in it, you can create yourself a little notification to say, hey, Tanya just deleted something. It's now on the deletes list. So you can get in front of it within that period that you can set. So it's up to 30 days. You can set what that retention period is. So that's around the corner next month. Try it out. Don't rely on it yet as it's going to fix everything, but it's a good first step. And then I just added a few extra pieces here just for the leave behind here. We will only have a couple more minutes here. So Vonda, if you can post the poll, and maybe we can get a little bit of feedback on just what we'd like to start collecting in general. So not necessarily wave release specific, but it might be a feature that is coming in wave. We'd love to hear your feedback on what are your favorite features in Dynamics, in Power Platform, any of the above, in Copilot. So if you have a moment to indulge us with our little poll, that would be fantastic. And at the end of the year, we're going to compile all of these favorite features lists, and we're going to put them in a nice little bow with a Christmas present for everybody on our last session of our user group here, our meetup. So thank you for that. And I think that, so there's the poll, excuse me. So there's the favorite feature link, and then that's a wrap. So we made it. So thank you everybody for joining us. We do have a little survey as well, if you have a minute to fill out our survey just for some feedback. So you can either scan the QR code with your phone, or Vonda will just post it into the chat if that's easier for you. And we do look at the surveys. We do look for guidance from our attendees as to what's working, what's not working, suggested topics. If you want to present, we always love to have guest speakers like we had Annie today. So thank you so much for attending today. We look forward to seeing you in November. We have 2 more for the rest of the year. Vonda, do you have the dates handy?
Yeah, so 13th of November. So I've just pasted that in the chat actually, if someone wants to grab that. We'll be doing a hackathon discussion. So we still need to update the session in Meetup, but the topic will be hackathon, organizing teams across CRM and ERP. And then December, we're doing an early one, with it being Christmas month. It'll be the 4th of December.
Mm-hmm. And that one, I think we're focusing on Purview, Microsoft Purview.
Or was it Promptathon?
Or Promptathon. Yes, that's a TBD.
I can't remember.
We'll figure it out.
We were only talking about this yesterday. Now we're all muddled up, which we decided on. But it's but I'll paste the December session here as well, and then people can take advantage of that.
Yeah,
it could be.
Exactly. Okay. And as a reminder, we don't get in and build things in this type of meetup that we do. This is meant for managers and people that have to like plan and roll out programs, not the actual building of them. So the Promptathon approach will be, how do you scale this for your firm and so on? How do you get this going? So anyway, more to come. It's very exciting. We've had a great year so far, lots of great attendance, and we really appreciate you spending the time with us. Annie, thank you again so much for the content. It's always so enlightening to hear what you have to say from your marketing corner. And it's a wrap. Thanks for joining today, everybody. Bobby, thanks for joining. I know you had to peel out, but thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in November.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.